In a world where every thought is shared, where every idea needs a like, and every moment begs for a comment, is there any place left sacred? A place where none of that matters? For me, that place is my sketchbook. But it could just as well be anything. A piano, a notebook, your garden, a place that only asks that you show up. But it wasn't always like that. In fact, I almost abandoned that hallowed space altogether. But I didn't. And that decision, well, it might just be the most important creative choice I ever made. Maybe you've abandoned your own creative space. That instrument, that camera, maybe not abandoned in your mind's eye, but put on the back burners and left to gather dust. Or worse still, maybe it all just started to feel pointless and you've thrown in the towel altogether. My name is Darren, and today I want to invite you to reclaim that creative space and rediscover why you started creating in the first place. So let's get into it. Today, we live in a world obsessed with polish and perfection, whether online, at work, or any other interaction for that matter. You feel compelled to put on your avatar, to ensure that you align yourself with your understanding of how you think others perceive you. But your creative space, wherever it is that you retreat to, this place is one of the few places left where you can be unequivocally you. To explore, experiment, even be vulnerable. A place to embrace your inner child in play. It is a room where no one is watching. The place where failure is not only permitted, but required. It is not a performance. It is not a feed. It's not for showing off, but for showing up day after day. Growing up, as you can imagine, I was that kid that liked to draw. Sure, I carried a sketchbook, but in the grand scheme of things, I was trying to blend in against the herd. But like any kid who chooses to be a little bit different, people took note, and not always in the kindest of ways. Suddenly, something that felt personal turned into a performance that I never really agreed to give. Kids would steal my sketchbook. They would snicker and say things like, "What is that supposed to be?" Or, "Why do you always carry that thing around?" That kind of scrutiny sticks. It set me down a path of self doubt and criticism that at the time I didn't even realize I was on. I started feeling like every page had to be perfect. I couldn't stop them from looking, so I had to impress them. That's when my sketchbook stopped being a playground and became a stage. Long before the days of social media, I was already chasing validation. I think a lot of us have felt this switch lately. No matter what it is you do, you stopped creating for the joy and you started panhandling for the clout.
Now we've industrialized that need for approval. With prompts and hashtags and algorithms, we crank out and consume content by the truckload. But art isn't the product of speed. It's the child of still thoughtfulness, of passion, of failing and trying again.
Look, here's the thing I think people are missing on this. AI might be able to mimic the product, but it can't feel the process. It can't sit in silence. It can't wrestle with meaning. Only you can do that. If you've traded in your creative space for a prompt engine, I implore you to reconsider, because your creative space, whatever form that takes, it still holds weight, not just for what it produces, but for what it reveals in you.
It is a diary in marks and gestures. A place not to feel under pressure, but a pressure release valve. A mirror that doesn't care how you look. In the margins of these pages, we see our thought process blossom. Not always cleanly, not always beautifully, but truthfully. Sometimes the things you abandon hold more power than what you finish, because this space doesn't demand that you impress anybody, only that you be honest. From the dawn of man on cave walls, to notebooks tucked away in dusty drawers, half-finished sonatas and cluttered studios, mankind has always needed a place to create without an audience. Not for content, but communion with the hand, with the mind, with something inside that doesn't yet have words. And if that space disappears, well, so does something deeply human.
So open up that sketchbook, mess it up, make it yours, and don't throw it away. Because choosing to stay tactile and curious and unrefined in our world of perfection, that's not just brave, it's revolutionary. So whether you draw or write or strum, it's the doing, not the product, that makes us who we are.
They took my sketchbook. They laughed. They mocked what they couldn't understand. But they couldn't stop me. And if any part of this message resonates with you, I hope you don't stop either. Because your space isn't for them. It's for you. And maybe, just maybe, that's what matters the most.
If you like this video, you can check out these other videos over here to get a better grip on some of your materials. I've got a lot of videos in the works right now, but my family and I are going to be moving and relocating to the big city, so stick around for updates on the move and all kinds of new videos to come. Thanks again for watching.